Record. All right, we are recording. Let's do 3, 2, 1. Pink. And hopefully that syncs up good. All right.
Hey, welcome to our 5th episode of the Paper Bag Club. Thank you.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I must be excited.
First intro and I get that. Damn. I'll do it again.
Okay.
Today's topics, we're going to be covering the hurricane. I'm not restarting that. And we're going to continuously go.
Okay, I was
because I persevere.
there you go. That's the style. Okay. So yeah,
Sorry.
today we're talking about hurricanes. And specifically, the new one on our horizon.
Dorian?
Dorian.
Yeah, man.
Dorian, yeah. They always have weird names.
Completely changed its trajectory this morning.
Yeah, and it probably
Straight-
will 1,000 more times.
Straight into Buford.
He said.
Yeah. You believe it's
Yeah.
going to go more north?
I don't think it's going to hit us, but I hope it does.
Yeah. If,
I don't think you should hope for a catastrophe.
Okay, let me rephrase it. I hope for a hurricane.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
For
there we
those
go.
of you who don't know, it is when we prepare for a hurricane that does little to no damage, and we do get the days off.
Because the whole city closes, and therefore all the businesses.
Yeah, I think this is the first big one of the season for us that we're going to see. You said this morning it kind of changed trajectories. So all we've been seeing is that it's just going to slam straight into Florida.
I think by Tuesday, right?
By Tuesday, correct. And then I think the funniest thing is when I saw the new plan, which again, it could always change. It changed severely today, where now it's going to ride the coast. And the article is saying how it's going to hit somewhere between Savannah and Charleston. And that's literally us. So it's like, yo, Beaufort County? Oh, okay. You could have said Beaufort County.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's going to hit right into where we are right now. But I don't think that'll be till Thursday. I think it said it was going to be like a category 2 at that point. So just about what we're used to seeing.
Yeah. See, what other hurricanes have we endeavored?
In our lifetime?
We can start with that, but I was thinking more specifically Beaufort, just because
Okay.
since we're here, I know.
Well, yeah, Beaufort in our lifetime.
So I lived in
Yeah,
I lived in
guess.
Atlanta when Matthew came through.
Really?
And
Okay.
that was probably one of the more devastating ones that I've been alive for that hit us directly.
I'd probably say the same.
Matthew was
it
bad.
2016? Maybe.
It was 2017. No, Matthew was.
I kind of want to say it was the end of 2015 into 2016.
Oh, yeah.
But I could be wrong. I don't remember this either. Actually, I'll just look it up really quick.
Yeah, Matthew is crazy. But I think the last time Beaufort County saw a hurricane that was so devastating, I think it was before we were born. It might have been Hugo, which I think was a couple years before.
I
we
remember
were
hearing
born.
about it, but I never.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. But every year we get this, and people freak out. And I think the worst thing I've seen is like trees, limbs fall down in the middle of the road, which is good for stuff to be closed, so people aren't out and about, or when a mandatory evacuation is afoot, so people aren't trying to traverse the terrain while a hurricane is coming, because we see this every year. It's something that we're used to. So I don't ever really freak out.
Yeah,
It was in the 2016.
Oh, it was in 2016.
just to
Yeah.
get
Cool.
It was
Yeah.
at the end of 2016.
Yeah, in September.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it was Matthew, and then what's the one after Matthew? I forget the name, but it wasn't too bad.
It wasn't Irma, was it?
It might have been, or it might have been Matthew something, then Irma.
Yeah.
I forget the
I'm bad
naming
with
system
names
for
for
it.
everything.
Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day, and they said we should rename the hurricane naming system and name each hurricane after a bad celebrity.
There you go.
Yeah, and then they go, haha, Mussolini. I'm like, well, Mussolini wasn't really a celebrity.
Right?
They're
I was
like,
about to be like, where you going with this,
everyone
Richard?
knows him. I'm like, yeah, he was a politician.
Yeah.
And he was a bad guy. I was like, now if you want to say like,
I was like Hurricane Bill Cosby.
there you go.
There you go.
Silent but deadly.
And then everyone gets their own like little catchphrase or something.
Yeah.
Like Hurricane Michael Jackson. Hee hee.
Yeah. No, you can't put hee after a hurricane, okay? You can't do that.
I guess only if it's category 1.
I mean, I think more seriously, right, the craziest hurricane that we've been alive for was Katrina. Like, just hands
Alive
down.
for, but never one-on-one experience.
Oh,
I think
man.
I was in California when it hit, so I was like,
I was a part of a youth group at the time. It was like 6 months, 7 months after, and we went to Pascagoula, Mississippi, and rebuilt. Like, we were helping to rebuild churches, and they took us down a tour, not into actual New Orleans, but like through the areas that were most like
damaged.
affected, right?
Yeah.
And they were like condemned neighborhoods. Like it was like full neighborhoods with condemned stickers on the front, and they had like the poster boards in front, like "You loot, we shoot," and then some political signs because everybody was blaming the president at that time.
Yeah,
which was kind of crazy. But
yeah, Jamie's family's from New Orleans. I'm pretty sure they lived there when Katrina happened, or they had family living there when it happened, so they experienced Katrina. So I can only imagine what that feels like. I remember seeing it on the news. There's like coffins literally coming up from their graves and floating around.
It's crazy.
You know, a lot of it, and most people know it's like common sense now that the reason it was so bad was the flooding, because of how their infrastructure was built. In New Orleans, it's like a bowl sitting in the ground.
Yeah.
It had like no water channels for all that excess flooding water to get out. It just came in and just sat there for a very long time, which really messed them up. But when we went to New Orleans to go see WrestleMania 2 WrestleManias ago, that house that we stayed in was Jamie's grandfather's house, and that one was flooded almost all the way to the roof too. You know, so that's something that I feel like now they'd probably be a little more prepared for, hopefully, but I don't think there's so much you can do about changing the infrastructure of a whole city. A whole city so big too.
well, let alone the whole state is kind of a depressed area, like topography wise. It's lower than sea level, so it's like, you know, that's Biloxi got hit extreme. Biloxi was one of the most ravaged cities, but it just didn't have the fame of New Orleans, right? There were areas of Mississippi that got completely wiped away.
Yeah, well, we went to that casino in Biloxi because Jamie's family is also from Biloxi, and you could see where there were still stilts in between these casinos of where other ones have literally got like washed away, and the houses got washed away out to sea because the flooding was so bad and the winds were so bad.
Yeah, driving through downtown Biloxi, there were literally like monumental buildings, like 10, 13, 14-story buildings that had their foundation was moved like a mile and a half.
That's crazy.
You know, up into the land because of how it was just.
Yeah, water's no joke.
I didn't realize how scared I was of water until just now.
So now it's a PC.
What's the water phobia? I don't know what that is. Aquaphobia?
It sounds about right.
You heard of the movie Jaws? Here's a new movie by Spielberg. Water. No, water's dangerous. You ever heard of a tsunami?
Yeah.
Luckily, we don't ever have to experience that on a regular
never.
basis like how you do on the other side of the Pacific.
What was the thing you were talking about the other day where it's like a...
Aquaphobia.
Aquaphobia.
That's kind of lackluster.
It was like a hurricane of water. That's a typhoon.
Yeah.
That's what you just said.
Yeah.
I was
Or
thinking
you said
something else.
tsunami?
No, yeah, you said tsunami.
Well, I said tsunami.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was thinking
like
like
a giant
hurricane.
water
Okay, so
wall
yeah.
coming,
Yeah.
a giant wave. Funny enough, I was at work and I was talking about hurricanes. We have a staff member who is not from here. She's from New York, and she hasn't experienced a hurricane before. So she's like, "Hey, Richard, what do I need to expect? What does it look like?" I was like, "What do you mean? What does it look like?" She goes, "Does it look like a tornado?" I'm like, I guess kind of, but I mean, that's not what you see. And she goes, "What do you mean?" I'm like, well, I mean, the only way you can really see a full hurricane is like if you're in the International Space Station or a satellite. I was like, that's how massive these things are. I was like, these things are like as big as states, you know, as big as some countries, bigger than some countries. I was like, they're huge. All you see is a bad storm. I was like, not a regular bad storm. I'm like, the worst of storms. Like, the wind is blowing things down. The rain is literally sideways coming at you. All you see is that. You don't see.
It's like Wizard of Oz of the hurricane, but instead of, you know,
well, it was a tornado.
cows.
Wizard of Oz.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, instead of cows, what?
Instead of cows, it's trees.
And palm trees coming out.
And dolphins, and just dolphins and pine trees.
Yeah, so
That's good.
I remember during Matthew, we evacuated down to my parents in Valdosta, which is Georgia, about 4 hours away from here. And there was one of the local Beaufort like community Facebook pages. I think Eat Sleep Stay Beaufort maybe.
Okay.
They had people like downtown like recording videos, like the waters or the streets like flooded.
I remember
and
this.
the waterfront park was like a pool,
Yes.
which it looked kind of
Yeah,
cool
it
and
did.
fun.
Yeah, the sea
but-
level was so high. It was literally over the boardwalk, and
Yeah.
people were kayaking.
Yeah.
in the middle of the park,
Right.
just because the water was so high.
I was like, that
but
looks kind
you
of
could
fun.
stand in it. It was maybe like knee deep.
Yeah.
You know,
But
but I mean,
still
still
flooded.
Yeah.
normally you go
pretty
downtown to
deep.
the water park or the waterfront park, and you can see over the boardwalk, and the water is so much lower. So seeing it up that high and over the
And
boardwalk
flooding.
splashing over, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Hemingway's was completely flooded, but they were still open.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's Hemingway's,
It was awesome.
dude.
For
Shout
people
out
that
to
don't know, Hemingway's is a bar downtown, and it's a little lower than the rest of the bars. You have to go down some stairs to get into it. So the water came up above the boardwalk and then funneled down into there, and their whole inside was flooded. But that wasn't stopping them from serving beers and having a party.
Yeah.
It's like one of those Hawaii little tiki huts or whatever. It's like a bar in the middle of the pool or the ocean. I mean, it's like
Yeah,
that.
it was pretty cool.
But you
I
might
think
experience
that's
that.
the culture of Beaufort is a lot of us here. I had one of my neighbors tell me the other day. He said, "Hey, just to let you know, on Monday we're having a street party, a hurricane party. Because not that we don't take it seriously, but I mean we see so many that aren't to that level that all you can really do is just like I
Do
said,
the best.
things closed. There's nothing to do. Might as well just hang out." So. Yeah.
I've never personally been a part of a hurricane party, but I've known about them since I was a kid.
Yeah.
I know that they're a thing, and but I've just never. My family was always the family to evacuate.
Yeah,
Like, even
yeah.
from here, they were like, any chance to get away.
Yeah.
'Cause, I mean, I didn't necessarily grow up in Beaufort. I grew up like 20 minutes away in Ridgeland. And, I mean, it affected us the same, but we weren't by water.
Yeah.
So we didn't think it would affect us the same, right?
True, but also you got to think about there's some people whose extended family is also here.
Right.
If they have no
Like-
place to go.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we would always go up to, I don't think it was Valdosta, but it was close to Valdosta as kids. And then more recently, I've been, like I said, I was in Atlanta for the last couple seasons for this. So this is my first, it's like a welcome home gift almost. 2 years too late.
Dorian said, Brandon's back.
Coming for you. Yeah, I remember.
And right before I leave.
Yeah, right. So it's like a going away
One
gift.
last hurrah, right?
You guys been to Hunting Island, right?
Yeah.
So no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they said no.
I grew up
okay.
here, yeah.
So well, I grew up. No, I didn't. Okay.
I grew up. No, I'm still a child. I didn't.
Well, I went there when I first moved here, and it's a beach. It's cool. You got all the trees everywhere. And then Matthew hit, and then I came back, and that place was destroyed.
Oh,
You remember
yeah.
seeing
The
pictures?
erosion was real. There used to be
Real
I
bad.
don't think it's there anymore. I haven't been back in a while, but
Yeah.
they used to have like this little lagoon, a little off of the beach, where water just always stayed, and you can go swimming in it. And I think it basically eroded so bad during that storm that whole lagoon basically washed away.
Ugh,
And it was super
that's
sad.
sad.
Yeah, it was bad.
They might have built it back, but it's hard to rebuild a beach.
Expensive.
Yeah.
So how much does sand cost?
Where are you
A
getting
lot.
it from?
Yeah. So I know they had
This is
a
Persian sand.
they had to move the lighthouse a couple years back, right? To
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
because of all the erosion of the water and stuff.
Really? I
I
didn't know
think
that.
so, yeah.
Yeah,
crazy.
it's a pretty
How
cool
do you
story
move a
about it.
lighthouse?
Very carefully.
Yeah,
Are
right?
they taking it apart like Legos?
No, so the way
The foundation?
yeah, so they found a way to like lift the foundation and put it on like not like a tractor, but some kind of machinery, right? And this thing's like thousands of pounds.
Yeah, man.
And so I
Tons,
believe what they do is
tons.
they kind of dig underneath of it, kind of like when you do a tree, right? You get the whole root and soil out. So I think it's similar to that, where they lift under the lighthouse on the foundation, and then slowly, very very slowly, you just kind of pull it.
And I think this was like recent in the lifespan of the lighthouse. I don't think it was recent as
Yeah.
in recent to like
Yeah.
our time
Oh,
frame.
gotcha.
I don't think it
I
happened.
think it was
while
like
we were-
30 years ago.
I don't think it happened
Something
while we
like
were
that.
alive.
Okay.
Yeah, not while we've been here.
Yeah, but I think it's on the little plaques and stuff. If
Okay.
you
Yeah.
do like the little tour, because they have the like right there by the lighthouse. They have the old. I guess it's the foundation of the old house.
I thought
that
it was.
right there.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Right. There's the house that was there, and then they have I think
Some
some
huts and
cabins,
stuff, yeah.
some cabins around it, and in each one they kind of tell you about the history of.
It's
that.
pretty cool if you've never
That's
been
scary.
before.
Could you imagine being the asshole that made it drop? Like, well,
Yeah.
Whoops.
we need a new one anyways. Really.
And see, I always thought that lighthouses, especially like active lighthouses, were rare these days. But like apparently in the Pacific Northeast, like on the banks of Michigan and stuff, there's like I don't want to get the number wrong, but I thought
Michigan has the Great Lakes, right? There's
right and
boats everywhere.
everywhere, right?
Yeah.
And they're like 100 active
Really?
lighthouses, probably plus. But I don't want to like
Yeah,
go
yeah,
over.
yeah.
Well, I
and
mean,
it
they're
sounds silly.
meant for people to see where the land is.
Right,
Yeah,
So
because they
like, hey,
communicate with the
look,
light.
there is land here. You gotta
Don't
be careful.
slow
man.
down.
Right.
It's like think
That's
of an
interesting,
iceberg, but land, and it won't move.
I just thought it was like an antiquated thing, like a lighthouse. Like we have towers with blinking lights. Like we can just build a frame. We don't have to carry the oil.
There's
up
no
every day.
purpose of it. We just wanted to say, hey, you see our blinking light?
Yeah, and guarantee they
it's
do
1,000
have
feet in the air.
lights in the now and not. Right.
But still,
the one on the thing, you can still see it in certain parts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to up there necessarily anymore, or if at all.
To where the actual light is?
Yeah, no, I've never. It's always been locked off. Since I've
it'd be kind of cool to go up there. But I know if
you can go so high.
Yeah, it's still pretty high.
I'm not a heights guy.
yeah, it's
Do you
pretty
guys
cool.
feel like it's leaning when you get to the top?
Yeah.
Every time I go up there,
I feel like I'm leaning when I get to the top. I'm getting nauseous. I'm like,
every time I go up there, I'm like, this thing is leaning a little bit more than
Just
last
a little
time.
bit. Yeah, I'm like, I want to lean off the balcony. I just run this scenario through my head. Oh, I'm gonna hold on the bars, lean, and it's gonna break, and I'm done, and you're
every
done.
time.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool for me. Oh no, you go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was gonna say there's a sensation that you get when you get to heights.
Oh yeah.
Right,
man.
and the sensation is, and regardless if you want to admit, is that you want to jump.
Yeah.
Right, you don't want to jump.
You're just like, I wonder.
You don't want. Yes.
I think it's a
And
matter
so,
of like you could.
The French have a term for that, and it loosely translates into English as the call of the void, right? And like it's a real thing. I was just doing research on it the other day, and it was like
that's death whispering. Do it.
Yeah, I wish I knew French or took French so I can actually.
We don't
translate
look it
it.
up and put
I'm
it
not
in
even
there.
going to
Put the
try,
definition.
right?
Yeah.
But it translates
Onde
into English
toi,
as the
umble.
call of the void, and it's that feeling you get at incredible heights. That what if I jump off? Like
That's
mentally,
crazy.
you don't want to jump off.
'Cause I've had that.
We don't
Do
have a
you
word
feel
for
that-
Like,
that.
I don't want to
They-
die, but I want to see what it feels like to fall.
Yeah, we don't have a word
Bungee
for that,
jumping.
though.
That term
Sorry.
can be used for other things too, not just like jumping off. I mean,
Nope, just that.
I mean, like any type of way where you're in a position where
you
your
could
life
harm
Well,
yourself?
I think that French
you
word
can have
specifically means of heights
Of
and
heights.
jumping,
Oh,
but
okay.
I don't know.
We'll look it up.
So imagine having
We will
like,
put this in frame right now if you're interested. If not, just skip the last 15 seconds.
I said, are you even watching right now?
Right.
You're just listening? That's fine, Sue. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it.
really appreciate all the love and support. For real.
So that's pretty cool. One cool experience I had with the lighthouse here was I had a friend, Will Tucker. Shout out Will. He is trying to be a commercial pilot or some sort of
Is that
pilot.
the guy who did the barrel roll?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
No, he did not do a barrel roll. He did not do a
Is that
barrel
the guy you
roll.
went on the
I was
plane
not
with?
in the plane
Neither.
when he may have done one.
Is that the guy that is
But-
trying to get his pilot license?
Yeah. But he took me on a flight. It was a 2-seater plane, and I had never been in a plane like that. And we took me to Charleston and fly back. Well, on the way back, we flew around the lighthouse. And I said I've been on top of the lighthouse so many times, and it's so scary being on top of it.
It's pretty tall.
But being at the level in the plane and seeing the lighthouse and how small it looked, it was mind blowing.
Yeah.
Especially because I grew up going to that lighthouse, and it was a real humbling experience seeing something that I grew up being such a monument to see how small it actually is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I know. When also, if you go to the top of the lighthouse, they have like a little diagram that's like, this is where the lighthouse used to be.
Oh, really?
It was pretty far out there. It's like in the water, like deep water now.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty far. It's crazy. Did I tell you about the helicopter tour I went on with Marley?
You didn't tell me about it, but I know you have a
I got
picture.
the
over there
picture
right
right there. I don't know if you see that, Brandon. Yeah, we went to Hilton Head Island to go on a helicopter tour. Yeah, you see the pictures? Yeah. So it was supposed to be like it was a surprise. I said, hey, get this weekend off. We're gonna go do something, and I didn't know what I was gonna do. I said, no, I just searched for something, and that came up somehow. So I said, okay, cool, helicopter tour. That sounds fun. So we drove to Hilton Head and went to the place. I forget. I think it's called Fly HHI or something like that, and they have, I think, 5 or 6 different like flight options, and they're based on mileage and what you see. So there's like a beach route, and then there's a lighthouse route, and then there's a marine life route, and then there's like a city route, and then a bridge route, like a whole bunch of stuff. And then you can get like the premium one where it's all of it. Okay. And if you've never been on a helicopter tour like I had, I was looking at it from the standpoint. Yeah, right. I was looking at it the standpoint of time, right? Because the cheapest one is like, oh, we'll fly you up and down the coast. You get to see the marine life, and it's about 3 minutes. I said 3 minutes. And it's like $90 per person.
Oh, wow.
Right? I'm like, 3 minutes, that just doesn't seem... It's like, hey, you fly up, you fly down, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. But you get there and they're like, yeah, I don't really think about it by minutes. It's more of like mileage. Like, we're going to fly you up and then go over here and then come back. So it doesn't sound like a lot. We ended up upgrading to one of the other summer limited exclusive ones, which probably wasn't exclusive. Yeah. But it was pretty cool. I think we were up there for about 15 minutes. But once you're up there, you see everything. You like lose concept of time. So it was probably 15 minutes, but I didn't really time it or whatever. But I brought my camera to get some pictures, and I got a couple, but I wish I would have took more or took it in a video format. But actually, I did do video. I forgot I did. I put
still
GoPro.
frames. Pow, pow.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool too. Like you said, seeing the lighthouse in a small aspect. I don't think we saw the lighthouse then, but I did see like all these like hotels and beach homes and all the people that looked like ants on the beach, and it was pretty cool.
So you're gonna tell me how much that was after the podcast, but right now, was it worth the money that you spent?
Actually, yeah, I would say. Yeah. It was a really fun experience.
Okay.
Could you imagine being in one of those during a hurricane?
Yeah. Like a movie.
No.
You mean,
No.
can I imagine being The Rock?
No.
I'm not saying would you
Could
do
you,
it.
can you imagine what death is? Imagine death right now. You can't.
You're falling from the
No, you know
lighthouse.
what? I have you. You want to imagine death being in a helicopter during a hurricane?
Drowning.
Drowning.
Flood.
In the air. You're in the air drowning. Like. No, I'm good. I'm not Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah.
I'm not Vin Diesel.
He has to
another
jump
one.
out
Close.
in the hurricane.
Patrick Swayze came close. I mean, he can dance, so I don't know what that has to do with it, but
Rain Dance,
I'm not
Dance,
Patrick.
Patrick
Yeah.
Swayze.
There you
There's a
go.
correlation.
somewhere there.
Yeah, if you've never been on a helicopter tour, I mean, it's probably similar to your plane experience, but you're afraid of
mine was
heights?
cooler.
I am terrified of heights, but one of my favorite things is to like really like challenge that factor. Yeah, like I was
gotta
really
punch fear in the
afraid.
face.
This might sound really weird, but I was really afraid of mountains. Like specifically, like
mountains are
climbing
scary.
a mountain,
Mhm.
hiking a mountain, like that's probably one of my biggest fears, right?
Yeah.
And so I went to Jones Gap like a year and a half ago, somewhere along that line, and they had the little map, and I picked a route that looked the most vertical,
Mhm.
right? And it was pretty intense.
Where's this at?
Jones Gap is in Green. It's like close to Greenville, South Carolina. They
Okay.
have really nice like little waterfall tour.
I think I heard
but
about
it's
it. I
all
wasn't
like
sure.
self-hiking.
Okay.
It's all like you go out there, you set up your tent in a lot where the closest person is half a mile hike away.
Mhm.
We were specifically like a mile and a half away from the parking lot hike. And it's not like, hey, this is a leisurely stroll on
It's like a hike.
It's like, yo, here's like a 3-foot indentation where a root is sticking up. So please watch or you're going to trip. And this is not going to be fun for you for the rest of the week.
Have you heard of Yosemite National Park in California?
It's in
Yosemite?
Yosemite. Yosemite.
Yosemite Sam?
Yosemite Sam.
I don't know.
Yosemite?
I thought that was what's the one with the heads?
With the guys.
Mount Rushmore.
With the heads. What park is that though?
Mount Rushmore.
Oh, it's like the
No,
national-
I don't think it's Yellowstone. No, it might be its own little thing.
Okay, cool. So when we get west of the Mississippi, no idea.
Gotcha.
So just
well, there's
excuse
one
me.
unless it's Yosemite. I'm pretty sure it was Yosemite.
Okay.
I don't know.
One or the other.
I'm literally trying to spell them both in my head. And I'm like, man, those
It's the
are probably
same.
spelled
Well, it is the
exact-
English language.
I think it is.
Maybe
It might be.
My whole life I've
But-
been calling it Yosemite, and I'm
Yeah.
literally retarded. It's like, what the hell?
Maybe.
Right there?
Dad, they
Well-
keep talking about Nazis, Dad. Nazis?
There was there's a half dome there. Does that sound familiar at all? It's like a big rock, but
Yes,
it's
it
half.
does. It does.
So in middle school, it was a summer in middle school between 7th and 8th grade, and I was living at Pendleton, and they did a youth program where you can go away for a week to go to the camp. And I went to Yosemite. Cameron went on a boat cruise and was like, dude, front flips off a boat. I was like, whatever, that's cool. Anyways,
One person
So
went
what
to
were you
space
doing
camp, the
for
other went to
fun?
crocheting camp.
so I went to Yosemite, and I'd never been hiking before. I've been out to like a desert, which is not the same. I don't know why I said that,
No,
but
I mean,
still.
it's still out in the wild.
Yeah,
Like,
wow,
I feel
there,
you.
that was a
I feel
correlation.
you.
So I went
Wild
there,
West camp.
and it was really a neat experience. You know, they had, I think there was like 30 campers and a couple camp leaders, whatever. So we had our own campground. We had to bring our own like frying pans and like, you know, the hiking cups and stuff. So we would make our own food. We didn't like hunt or anything, but we would make our own and sleep on the campsite. But then one day there was an optional hiking trip to climb the Half Dome, which from the base camp to the top of the mountain was 20 miles. Just there. So also 20 miles back. And that was,
What?
So
Yeah.
the trip was to get to base camp.
well, from the camp to the mountain was 20 miles.
So you did that in one day?
Yeah, we woke up at 6 a.m.
Wow, dude. This was not a camp that you thought it was. Elias.
This was an internment
We're getting
camp.
into some repressed memories here. We really need
Right.
to talk. This
I
was
think
not.
they were games.
Pilgrimage of Moses was going on here.
So they
they
kept
had
yelling
us
at me.
hitting
I don't
rocks
know.
all day long, and when we found a shiny one, we got beat. Like
Yeah, and they had us all wearing orange just so wouldn't lose each other.
So they
Shia
kept,
LaBeouf was there singing some songs about holes. Like
they kept yelling at me, but I just went on. But it was optional to climb this mountain,
okay,
the Half Dome
I'm
in
not
Yosemite
taking that
National Park.
option.
I said I wasn't gonna do it, but I said I'm probably never gonna do this again. I might as well.
Yeah.
So I woke up at 5. We left at 6. 20-mile hike, which was an amazing hike. If you've ever been there, you probably already know. But it was a lot of hiking. But there was 2 things that really stuck out to me. One of them was there's a waterfall and then a trail right next to the waterfall. So the rocks are very slippery because of the mist from the waterfall.
Are they jagged too?
Yes.
Would you die if you fell on it?
Yes, and I almost did.
That's the closest you've been to death. What's that
We'll
word?
see. French word.
I can slip myself right now and die.
Call of the void.
So that one was really cool. And then once you get to the top of the mountain, or actually the base of the mountain rather, they have these metal like rods into the mountain itself, and then attached to each rod is like a rope on each side. So just like a
What do you
rod
do
and
with
a
the
rope.
rope?
You just hold on to it.
Oh, okay.
And that's like your guiding way up.
Yeah.
So the mountain goes
Just
like
in case
this.
you want to end it here.
So here's the mountain, right? And it slowly goes up to a full vertical at one point. And there was like 50 people on this rope. Like everyone's
You're
going
just, like,
up and
climbing
down.
it up the rope?
Well, yeah. So it's not like a rope that you climb. So imagine you're walking up a stairs and it's like a handle, but the handle's a rope.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they
So-
typically like to carve in some type of into the stone. So like,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a walking rail essentially. And at one point you're like completely vertical. And I was like, okay, I made it this far. I'm not gonna go anymore. And then the camp leader's like, yeah, we can't leave you alone, so you have to go. I was like, so I was scared.
You made it?
Just shit your pants.
Yeah, I
Just
made
shit your
it.
pants.
Now, once you get up there, it's crazy beautiful. You can see all the other mountains.
I
It's
feel like
actually
going down would be even scarier.
it was it was yeah.
So I'm gonna go down backwards. I don't want to look down. I want to look at the stones.
Yeah.
That's so.
It was crazy though. It was really nice. It was there was snow on top of the mountain.
Oh,
Which
wow.
was nice. You can see the other mountains, and then we had like lunch there. I got up there, and there was a couple of people just sleeping there, like just
Dang, I
chilling,
can
whatever.
I
imagine.
said, look, I'm scared to go down, so I'm just
I'm just
gonna
gonna
take
live
a nap.
here.
See
I
how
live
I
here
feel
now.
afterwards.
Yeah, I live here now.
I live here now, and then going down it was equally scary, if not more, actually.
It's the scariest part, in my opinion.
And they have like these little wooden steps, but on a vertical wall, so it's like steps, whatever.
Because like when you're hiking, you're watching your foot placement, right?
But you're
And
walking
just as much
down.
as you're looking at the trail ahead of you, right? So when you're going up, you're looking up. You're looking like at an angle down.
You're
to
seeing
your
the
feet.
sky. You're almost there.
Right, but when you're going down,
It's
you're
like
reminded,
holy
All you
shit,
see is the death.
Guess what,
Yeah.
Brandon? You're a little bit uncoordinated in one fell swoop.
and you're done.
Yeah.
Did you have like a carabiner to clip onto the rope?
No,
Hell no.
no, it was free. It was free.
Yeah, these are all like hike at your own risk.
How old were you?
Must have been 14.
Oh, this seems very.
It was
very
fun.
not
You
safe.
could have fought in the Civil War.
I made it.
Yeah, you could have found
So
someone,
hike a
remember?
mountain.
Oh,
Yeah.
talk about getting shot in the shin off your whole leg.
Yeah, exactly. But it was really fun. If you ever get the chance, it's a beautiful park. And on the way back, another 20 miles. And then once we got back to the waterfall walkway or whatever. So it's kind of like, that game is like an arcade game where you have to like get the ball to go like this, and just like you have to balance it this way, then this way, then this way to the top.
Oh yeah, man, Jamie's pro at that.
Yeah.
At CC's.
So it's like that, right? With the stairs and the rocks and
Yeah,
that whatever.
okay. Ooh.
So it's like that, and in between, so you go up one stairs, and then there's like a patch of grass, and then another stair, patch of grass to go up. And I was racing someone to get down. So I said, "Fuck these stairs, I'm gonna slide down." Right? So I slid down, and it's very slippery. I said, "Oh, I'll land." I'm a little too fast. I
Is that
land
why you
on the
look like
bottom.
you do now?
Yes. And I got down to the next level, whatever, and I tripped, and I was about to fall, but some guy was there, and he fucking caught me. He's like, "Be careful." I thought I was fucking
Was that the closest
gone.
you've ever come to death? Honestly? That you've known about, because I mean, the statistics
Probably.
of us dying in a car accident are way higher than falling down a mountain. So
Yeah.
who knows how close?
Probably.
we've been.
If I said I drove this morning, I almost died this morning, probably. But yeah, that was crazy. And it was close
imagine.
because the waterfall, and then it's like rocks at the bottom, and then it's just like a river rapid.
I don't know the closest.
That
I've
would've
ever
been
to
bad.
death. I mean, I cut my fingers pretty bad. Not like off, but I had to get stitches. But I remember finally getting to the hospital, and I was like pale, and they're like, "You okay?" I'm like, "It won't stop bleeding."
I'm just gonna die
I'm
now.
just gonna bleed out here. But I've never had any crazy injury. I've never broken a bone. I've never had a crazy disease that incapacitated me where I'm in like the hospital bed. So I'm very fortunate. So I don't think I've had.
But have you fallen down a mountain though? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Put that on your bucket list.
A legit.
In that case, we should go hiking.
Yeah.
Let's go to
Break
Yosemite.
you in, bro. Break you in.
They give you a new perspective on life.
Dust, y'all. I'll get to that thing. I'll be waiting. I'll be playing in the waterfall.
It was really cool, but it was scary.
There was this part. So the hardest trail that we went on at Jones Gap was like their veteran trail or whatever. It was the first one we went just to see if we had the balls to even be here. Right?
So I've never done this before. Let me do the hardest one.
Really, it was pick a color that you like on the map because they were all color coded.
Purple.
And it wasn't until halfway through the pink trail that we realized, oh, pink doesn't mean baby. It means hard. Right? So it was the hardest one they had. So, but when we got up to it, the view was
incredible,
literally breathtaking.
Yeah.
It wasn't like an outward view though. It wasn't like of the surroundings.
Yeah.
It was you climbed all the way up the top of this mountain, but at the very top of the mountain was a huge waterfall, like one that if you were to stand under, you would probably just be beaten to death. Like it was huge.
Sorry.
No, you're good. And then there was a cliff to the right of it that you could like kind of hike up the side and then hike and then like climb up to the very top of the crag and then you're like halfway.
Yeah.
Like in the middle of the
yeah, that sounds cool too.
waterfall. Dude, it was awesome.
I've never been one for like hiking and stuff, but like Utah is mountainous as fuck.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good trails there. I know when we visited there back in May, there's this place called The View, right? And I was like, yeah, I was there for taking pictures, and they're like, hey, let's go to The View. And basically it's like you go downtown, but then you go up a hill to like, I think it was like the Capitol building or something. And then you keep going up past that. And it was almost like Hollywood Hills in the sense of like, it's on a hill and there's a lot of nice houses. And then you get to the top of this hill and then you climb up a little mountain and then you climb up another little mountain. It was like a 30-minute hike. And we're doing this at like 11 at night.
Damn.
So, but it was also really cold. So I had a jacket and all my camera gear. So I was like huffing and puffing hard. But when you get to the top of it, you can see a view of the entire city.
Oh, wow.
And it's like midnight by this point. So, you know, all the city lights are up, and I have a couple of pictures if you want to see it after this.
Oh, yeah.
But it was pretty cool. And for I don't know, I don't think I ever figured it out to this day. But when we got up there and set up my camera, there was a fireworks show going on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's
I was like,
really cool.
what? I was like,
really
I was like,
cool.
"Do you guys playing this or what's going on?"
Right.
It was far enough away, but
knew
my
you were gonna
lens
be there.
could. Yeah, but my lens could reach it. So. I didn't get any great pictures because I was still new to photography and trying to learn how to do it. If I was in that same scenario now, I would have gotten great pictures. But I mean, there's a lot of hiking trails out there, and it's in that area. So even if you wanted to take like a weekend off, we can probably go and hike a mountain or go on a trail or do this or that there.
So during
we don't live that far away from the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, I was about to say Jake Wilkie.
Yeah,
He used to do that like every summer or something like that, which is crazy. It's cool though.
I couldn't imagine that. 3 months?
He said, "Hey, I'll be back," and he comes back with like a full beard or whatever. He's like looking a little rough.
A nice little walking stick.
It's like, what happened? I tripped, broke my leg, peed on it, found a turtle.
Here you go. Have you ever
And
seen The
now all he
Revenant?
does is pick,
I found a
pick
bear.
tree nuts and berries for us every time we're out. He's like, we can go get real food. Oh, but the world is plentiful.
Yeah, so I like to think we did like a glam camping experience. Like though we did stay in a tent, and it was a 1-person tent with 2 people. Like, and we stayed in the middle of nowhere. We still like went hiking during the day, went out and had food at a nice restaurant during the night. So it wasn't like
Okay, gotcha.
You know, there was one night where we were like, I think the first and the second night we were like, hey, let's go to the local Harris Teeter and get some things we can grill on a fire at our campsite. But I definitely know the third night we went to some really cool gastropub and had some like mountain hipster food.
Yeah.
And then we went back to
Wild
the campsite and did like, you know, honestly, it was like fried alligator bites.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, fresh fried alligator bites.
Have you ever had alligator?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I have not.
And then I had like a drunk man's grilled cheese, and all of the ingredients were locally farmed off of the
That's
fucking
pretty cool.
mountain. So
Yeah.
you had like goat cheese from the goats and cow cheese from, and like big huge hunks of bacon soaked in IPA. Like, dude, it was
Damn.
intense.
Yeah.
It was intense.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Shout out to that. Oh, man, I wish I knew that little restaurant's name because it is good. If you ever find yourself in Jones Creek in Greensville, South Carolina, go look for cool little food outlets because there's definitely good shit out there.
Another thing I wanted to say real quick about the hiking. Have you ever seen those people who do carabiners and they like sleep on the side of a mountain.
Oh, I have seen that.
Fuck
Yeah,
that.
I've seen
no.
people do that for
I'm good.
photos.
I'm good. Yeah, I've seen that.
I
There's a
saw-
photographer I follow who does that, and it's like,
I
what?
saw something on like the Discovery Channel once, and these people had like their tents hanging off the side of the mountains, trying to get pictures of like condors. You ever seen a condor? You know what a condor is?
I think
and they're
so.
like, hey, we're trying to get as close to this nest as possible. Let's just sleep on the side of this freaking mountain right next to the nest to get a picture of this freaking condor.
It's like a vulture with a 12-foot wingspan. Or
Okay,
not 12-foot
gotcha.
wingspan. Jesus.
A pterodactyl?
Wow, yeah. It's a huge
Okay,
bird.
gotcha.
It
I
is
was
huge,
thinking of
and it's
They're
like
massive.
going extinct, but super detrimental to the
Yeah.
ecosystem. Like, yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, I was thinking of what are those things that they use their horns to climb a mountain?
A goat?
I think so. I thought it was something. I was thinking like elk or another word for it or something.
I have
It might
seen
just be
like
a
mountain
goat.
climbing goats. That
Yeah,
can get,
mountain
like, their-
goats. That's what it
their
was.
Hooves like in like the tiniest crevices.
Yeah,
on
and they
the
like
sides
use
of
their
mountains
horns
and
in their
stuff.
head to climb. It's like what?
And
That's
they're
pretty
just
cool.
Chilling. I've seen videos
Yeah,
where
just
like someone's
hanging
like
out.
really far away and it's zooming in on this like mountainside. It's like a cliff. And there's just a goat right in the middle of it, like 300 feet in the air, just chilling.
Just chilling. Yeah, I was like,
Check it
that's
out
crazy.
there.
Yeah, rock climbing is crazy.
No, just like heights in general. Like free-form building climbing.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Have you
And I
seen
know
how-
that's not just me, because like a lot of people are cringed by it, but these Russian boys who are climbing up,
Right, hanging at the edge. of the
GoPro, and that's why I bought a GoPro.
and you know what I don't like? I don't like even more than that, the RIP Facebook pages for these people, right?
Yeah.
Because that's like, come on, guys, like,
Yeah.
what? What?
Yeah. No, I watched one where these guys, I think it was in like Italy or something, because like the buildings looked like Italy buildings or whatever. You know, I want
They
an
all were
Italy
shaped like this.
It's a spicy building.
where they were just parkouring over the roofs.
Yeah.
And this one where he
Seen one that
went
looks like
down
Greece, maybe.
and then he jumped across the street onto a fire escape. And I was like, I mean, it's a cool video to watch, but the tiniest slip, like your shoelace comes undone, that's your life, man.
Yeah.
You're done.
But I mean, that's really what it gets into, is that is their life.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think working at their local corner store is going to give them that.
They need that
enough thrill to live.
adrenaline or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah, speaking
Okay.
of adrenaline, have you guys ever heard of a torture room?
Yeah, right. Speaking of adrenaline, have you
It's
ever
crazy
heard of
about
rating
that.
on Classic WoW? Or is that...
Like, there's people getting back to like hurricanes that like stay when all this is going down just to see what it's going to be like. I remember seeing a video of these people out in like Florida or something. And
Just
the news
chilling.
reporter goes up to him and was like, hey, like, why did you come out here when it's supposed to be, you know, like death? And he goes, oh, well, you know, all the people evacuating. You know, but there's actually people out there who get a thrill from it, and
Yeah.
that's what they do. Me, I'm okay with watching a scary movie. That's all the adrenaline I need in my life.
So I'd also watch a movie
And
about the
sometimes I'm not
hurricanes.
okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hurricanes are just... It's
I
one of
think
those
it's
things
too
that...
real.
Yeah, we're not going to believe it's real until we're
It
all
hits.
washed up. Yeah.
And it's too late.
Yeah, and it's too late. And that's, you know, some people are completely okay with that, right? I have no physical belongings that I need to have.
Renter's insurance. It's real.
Don't need anything.
So
There's
get
things
on that real quick.
Renter's insurance can't provide you with, like, sentimental value. Like,
No,
there's
true.
nothing of sentimental value enough for me to, like, be like, I'm gonna ride this boy out, guys. Category 5.
So I got
don't care.
a waterproof, fireproof safe in the house. So,
Shit.
yeah, just in case anything happens, I keep like all my like
Pops.
really big. No, that's what the renter's insurance is gonna take care of. Is all my pops, my over $5,000 worth of pops.
So I was gonna put my best one in
Wait,
here.
Inspector Gadget.
No, my good ones are up high.
I wish I had a pop filter for that, because that would have been a good sound effect, but now people are just gonna hear.
So I wish I found mine. I don't know where mine
Yeah,
That
all
was
the
cool.
stuff that, you know, renter's insurance couldn't buy me that. I'm like, man, I really want to keep this picture or like my freaking birth certificate, you know? That's in the safe. But everything else, money
Yeah.
can buy that back.
Yeah.
And trust me, if that were to happen, I'm like, State Farm, am I in good hands? Because I need it to be.
Said, are you? Do you have
That's
your
all
birth
state-
certificate?
All states, all states are in good hands. What's State Farm?
It's okay.
We are farmers.
Your shit.
Dum, dum,
You're-
Your,
that even
your
a different
neighbor or something. I don't know.
Like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. There we go. That's
yeah.
what it is.
Let's get some representatives out here.
So
Right.
you better be
Yeah.
the best neighbor.
Podcast or sponsor this podcast.
If you
I
are
don't
looking
think-
for insurance,
We recommend one of three.
I don't know, man.
Or if you want to go the other route and save 15%.
I don't know. I'm more fond of the Shaquille O'Neal, the
The general.
Oh yeah.
Go to the general and save some time.
I like the Emu Limu from Liberty Mutual.
Emu Limu.
Yeah, the Emu Limu.
No,
You heard of it?
Never.
It's like Liberty Mutual Insurance Emergency. It's like an acronym or something.
Okay.
But like they got an
is this a
actual
character
emu.
that they did.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
emu. Okay.
And if you ever watch the commercials,
What's
it's good.
Limu mean?
Their acronym
that's
for
the
their
acronym.
Liberty
Okay, the
Mutual Insurance Agent. something
Oh,
like that.
got you.
Yeah.
Got you. Heard
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
not good
and it
marketing
just
for them.
rhymes,
Not
you know.
good marketing for them.
But I know their commercials always have the Liberty Statue of Liberty behind them.
The
And
Liberty
remember,
Statue of Liberty.
remember
and
episode
there's like a family
2?
that's like standing there.
Oh,
and
shout
they're
out to episode 2 because that
on Ellis
Liberty
Island.
statue ain't
Ellis
even
Island.
there.
Yeah. It's good
No,
stuff.
it's crazy. Whenever you talk about something, or you find a new synonym for a word that you've never heard, and you're starting to use that word, you start hearing these
Everywhere.
words or these thoughts or these ideas everywhere. And it's like before I had phone, it would happen. I would learn a word in vocabulary class, or English class, and I would start seeing that word everywhere. Right, so now it was like we were talking about the Mandela effect. I watched a video last night that had nothing to do with it was like a meme video or something, and they got real serious into the Mandela effect out of nowhere, and I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I wish I would have watched this before. It's like,
Yeah.
It's the code in the Matrix saying, "Oh, you're seeing it now."
yeah, for real, right? Oh,
Said, you fucked
you've
up.
learned it, and your proficiency is gaining. Man, I can relate that to WoW right now.
Said you leveled up. Very cool.
Yeah, I'm sure during the hurricane, that's probably all you'll be doing.
Is World of Warcraft?
Yes.
Unless your internet goes out.
If I have internet and I
Said
have
you better get
power,
that
I will
Verizon
be-
mobile
So
hotspot.
I do have a mobile hotspot. I was
Like-
having,
Don't have
yeah, but
internet.
I have to charge my phone.
Yeah, I'd be
I
like,
have to have
sir,
power
you
outlets
use
for the computer.
I'm gonna go buy
3,000
one of those
gigabytes.
crank chargers. You just sit there for an hour. Is it your turn yet? Because my phone's only at 5%.
So
You need the electric bike one.
I joined
Oh,
a
right.
World of Warcraft Discord with my friends. Richard's in it. I need to get you in it, even if you don't play WoW. It'd be cool to just have a personality.
Okay.
Come on, guys. They're cool guys. It's actually pretty therapeutic. I didn't realize how talking to a bunch of middle-aged 20-year-olds would
Middle-aged
What was that thing
Middle-
your
middle-
mom or sister posted on Facebook?
About what?
The podcast. It's like, in 2019, when you need a therapist, start a podcast.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
for real,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like talking
Something
to you
that
guys. I've been going. When this has been posted, it will have been more than 48 hours. But the last 48 hours of my life has been crazy, and it's like, man, conversing with people doing this podcast is definitely
Therapeutic.
Yes.
You know what else can be
Said,
therapeutic?
I have a meeting at Friday at 5.
A hurricane. Get your life in order.
Puts it into perspective, at least.
No, it's just because you have something to focus on.
Yeah.
Say, oh, shit, I'm going through something. There's a hurricane.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Everyone's
die.
going through something now.
Everybody get on the same level.
So, do you have a place to go if it hits us at a Category 5? Which I don't think it will.
It won't.
Hypothetically.
Category
but-
5 was not even
no,
at a
Category
right
6.
So we're thinking if
Hypotheticals.
If it's
A max 12.
If it actually gets to the point where Beaufort
Is in danger?
evacuates,
Yeah.
like if they say, okay, countywide, whatever wide it is, because it could affect. It's probably going to affect all of the
Yeah.
affecting here, like Ridgeland,
Yeah, all the sea
Bluffton,
islands.
Hilton Head, yeah, all of this, right? And so if it gets to the point where they're like, hey, evacuate, we can't, like they literally can't force you to,
Yeah.
right? But evacuate now,
Mhm.
I would have to, and I would probably go up to Atlanta.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing about, the mandatory evacuations is they can't like physically make you evacuate, but
Yeah.
they're like, hey, this is a mandatory evacuation, leave, or you won't be able to when the mandatory
Yeah.
evacuation's
Because
over.
it's too late.
Is what they're
Block
saying.
the
It's like,
roads and...
yeah, that we will literally shut it down, so you are stuck and you will not be helped, which is the the thing. They're like,
Well,
we're
because
not
they
gonna
have to
put
keep the
these-
roadways open for emergency vehicles.
Yeah, it's like
They
they're
have
not,
to.
they're not
That's
going
what-
to have these emergency
For the people who
members
are dumb
go
enough to
through
stay.
this. So like, look, we told you to evacuate. We don't have the resources to say, hey, I'm trapped here to help you out because we are going through this everywhere to go and help one person. And that's the biggest thing. And then same about coming in. We've had this special waiver before to come back in to start working, to open up shop. So the people there and the first responders, everything have a place to go
And eat.
which is always intense. But
Yeah.
I think that's the hardest part about working is, especially for us, we have a lot of younger kids working for us. So if their parents say, hey, there's an evacuation that has been
We're
announced,
leaving.
we're leaving, and there's nothing I can do about it.
Also for, like, military families?
Yeah, or the same with that, when they're like, hey, we have to move these jets, we have to move whatever things we need to move over to the nearest base. All the Marines get called on to move this stuff, right? So they're working, and there's an evacuation, so their
And they have to get their families, yeah.
So it gets tough. But I was telling my mom when she sent me the article about. Funny enough, when she first sent me the article, I'm like, Mom, that's not even going to be near us. Like it's gonna slam into Florida. We're not gonna see anything. Maybe a little rain.
So eventually Florida's
but
got
now
to just
it's like going up straight up the coast. I told her, I was like, I'm always gonna be the last to leave, Mom. I'm like, shit. Eating my words now.
So you wait a little too long.
What is an update on that storm?
Eventually, I feel like Florida's just gonna fall off. Did you hear?
They're gonna cut themselves off and move them over to the freaking
just
West
a little
Coast.
over bit.
So hey, California, you need another neighbor.
You need a Florida. Did you guys hear about that conspiracy theory that says that I want to say the Russians have created a laser weapon that can start hurricanes?
Okay, if that were the case, they chose to start hurricanes in the wrong area.
They started recently because it's a test. They want to make sure they got it down so they can say, boom, hurricane in New York.
Here you go, Wisconsin. Here's a hurricane.
Said you talk shit about our country, you're getting hit. And they can just specialize and just laser everyone.
That's silly.
I'm just
That's
literally
silly?
imagine like one of those lasers you play with the cats with. They're like,
Just
if we
devastating.
hit it at the right angle, we will move these protons around.
And fuck you up. That's hilarious. I heard it. I said, lasers are crazy.
Yeah.
Although
Russians are crazy.
Russians are crazy.
Shout out.
Shout out to
shout out.
Russia!
You ever seen that? It was a Family Feud, and there was one thing where it's like, "Hey, name something Russians are famous for," and the guy's answer was Russians. It's like, name one thing Russians are famous for. He goes, Russians. Russians.
From now on, if I hear the word Russian or Russia, I'm going to do the Rhett thing when he hears Tokyo because it's been said 40 times.
What is it?
In this podcast.
Whenever I don't want to yell into my mic at this point.
Oh, gotcha. Heard.
Link
Next time.
says Tokyo and Rhett says oh for like an extended amount of time, and the camera just zooms into his face, and they do like little weird edits on the side. I'll have to show you guys. It's really funny.
Yeah. But that'd be weird if someone can manufacture hurricanes. I feel like
It also
testing it out. Why not test out where it would create more devastation?
Yeah, but like,
It's
let's
a
not spread this
distraction.
news. Let's not spread this news because Trump has already said he will fucking nuke hurricanes.
Okay, if President Trump nukes hurricanes because of this
And if
podcast,
he thinks now Russia is behind the hurricanes, he will nuke them too.
I think
he will
we've
nuke
had good
Russia
run.
with a hurricane.
Right.
He will figure it out.
So we've had a good run. We're in a black hole, a black worm. So really anything's possible.
Yeah, so when the nuke comes down, instead of a mushroom cloud, a hurricane appears. So you get the nuclear bomb and then a hurricane on top of it. Acid rain.
You get a huge person and they vape and it's just a hurricane.
We will not stand for the Russian. That's the most terrible.
All right, thanks for listening.
Real quick.
That's funny.
But so hurricanes are something I think that I think being an adult now, it's weird because being a kid, I remember going through hurricanes, but I don't remember it being this prevalent.
No, never.
In times where, again, it could just be that I was a child and wasn't my prerogative to know.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, can I not play outside
Right.
or what's going on? You know, so now being an adult and you know, running a business and having to keep everyone calm and having to keep an eye on these things, it's weird being like how I started. Oh, the first one of the season, you know.
So it's that time.
It's weird to think about.
Have you ever had to? What I think the rule is if a hurricane's gonna hit, you have to like go to the center of your house in the bathtub or something like that, or you have to sit in the bathtub.
With like
tornadoes
or tornado.
earthquakes, you want to go where there's
like a
like
closet.
not like windows and everything.
Yeah.
Windows can shatter, things can break in,
I think
shatter
a
the windows,
bathroom.
can get cut. You know, but most bathrooms are the ones with the least amount of windows and probably some of the better structure because it's so small.
Yeah. So have you ever had to get your family and go in there?
No.
I did one time just because we thought it was gonna hit really bad. It was in Georgia. It was nothing really happened. It was just really, really strong winds. So nothing like actual damage. But only one time I remember we had to go to the laundry room, which was in the center of the house, and just chill there for like an hour.
I remember my sophomore year of high school. I lived in a little neighborhood by the Broad River Bridge, and there was a tropical storm like no other, man. I mean, we were living in an older type house. It was really big. It was really nice, but it was like a little bit older. And I just remember instantly the lights cutting off. Our house was surrounded by oak trees, and that was just crazy enough, like with the storm and the wind. And then not to mention the lightning and thunder was just, it was literally the worst storm that I had ever lived through.
Yeah.
And in the morning, not even in the morning, like hours after it, we like rode bikes because there was no cars driving. even Robert Smalls Parkway, the main road was
Dead.
vacant.
Yeah.
Limbs and just oh, dude, it was crazy.
Well, you seen what happened to my neighbor's house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
the
that
last hurricane that
tree.
came, their tree in their backyard, literally fell over, and luckily no one was hurt. But they had a branch go through their bathroom, a roof, or the roof over their bathroom, straight through there. And he's been trying to cut it down since it happened.
And it's still literally the size of a huge tree.
Yeah,
still
I mean,
in the
yeah, I
backyard.
think-
huge. And then, so that's scary to me because I have 2 trees in my backyard and
Yeah.
a tree in my front yard. So I'm like, man,
If that falls
I
in
mean,
you.
they're huge. So I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's a
if
big
this were to
yikes.
fall down onto my house, I mean, if I was under it, I'd be dead.
Yeah, I think during Matthew, there's a tree in Marley's parents' backyard that hit their attic.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah,
I remember
it was
that.
pretty bad.
So yeah, I actually want to take this time real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Just if anybody is watching this before the hurricane, it's going to be posted around the time that it's supposed
Well,
to
It's
hit.
supposed to be posted.
This
when it's
this will be
here.
the it makes
So I'll make
landfall
like
Tuesday.
a Facebook post or something on our page. But like water, gas, and batteries. Like even if you aren't planning on evacuating and you know it's not going to be too bad,
So you're
at
gonna
least
sell
get
out
those-
everywhere.
Yeah, those 3 things should be your go-to thing in this season. It's like when you hear about a hurricane, think about the earliest day you think somebody's going to go shopping, and then shop a day before that day, because I work at a grocery store and we are already selling out of water.
Yeah.
Like,
I know
and it's-
water is a big one.
and it's scheduled to hit in a week.
Yeah,
Right.
I think the one after Matthew, we had enough preparation for it, so that, well, not me personally, but like Buford or whatever.
Yeah.
That they had start doing like a limit on gallons or cases of water.
Yeah.
I think.
So we won't do that just because we're not going to tell you not to spend your money. But
Yeah. No, but I think like
You
the
want
store.
30 cases of water? Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, I think like the store was like, hey, you can only buy 2 cases
Right.
per person or whatever because everyone needs water.
Right.
You can't just hoard it. Say, I'm going to buy 10 cases of water and charge you $1 for a bottle.
I mean,
It's like it's a
Price
good
gouging.
present.
That's another thing
But you a
about
bitch.
natural disasters is price
Yeah.
gouging is illegal, and people get hit with it. Like they'll
Hard.
talk to the Better Business Bureau and be like, "Hey, this gas station's open up, and they're charging $10 a gallon for gas. That's price gouging, and you can't do that in times of
Natural disaster.
Yeah, you can't. So literally against the law, 'cause they're saying, "Hey, here's this travesty that happened, and
You're
the only
taking
thing you're
advantage
doing,
of
yeah,
it."
you're taking advantage of it for personal gain." I was like, it's wrong. And that's what I like. It's like, there has to be a limit.
Yeah.
You can't say people are free to do whatever they want and scam people out of this when there is an actual need for the things that they have. That's the only place to get it.
good old capitalism.
50 minutes. I think it's good to cut it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and end it. So I'll cut this part out. Any last things we want to talk about for hurricanes other than, I think we covered a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, we got in a little.
We got a
tangent
little
between.
safety.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's our MO now. I think it's going to be start with the topic, whatever is in the middle, and then we'll somehow
And
get
then
back on topic.
come back. Yeah. Cool. You started it, so I'll finish.
I did.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you for listening or watching. As usual, this is episode 5. We appreciate all the support. If you want to talk to us, we are open on many social medias. I believe we're all on Facebook. Did you guys start a Twitter?
I got a Twitter.
I did get a Twitter again.
Well, they're still learning.
When it first came out, and I got it on my little flip phone. My flip phone.
Yeah.
We called it a Twitter phone.
Twitter
phone.
phone.
Got a Twitter phone.
Do you remember Twitter phone?
No.
You obviously
I
remember
remember
Twitter
Twitter
phone.
phone.
Dude, so Twitter was just, sorry for this. Twitter was just like a computer thing, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, Twitter mobile now. You can use, and flip phones were still prominent, right? People had iPhones, smartphones, whatever. Flip phones were still prominent, right? First time you had to like send in your number, verify it, whatever. Our first tweet was Twitter phone. It just stuck.
You
It just
sent a
stuck.
text basically to like a number like Cha Cha.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh,
Send
I
a
remember
number
Cha Cha.
and you text that number and it would read your number, your phone number, and then post it to your Twitter.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Now there's apps for smartphones.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, thanks for listening again. I think that's everything. I got to work on my outro, but thanks again. And we appreciate all the support. We are always open to feedback, whether that's video or topic suggestion or really anything. Links in the description for all our social medias, as well as our Patreon, which we're trying to get going.
Right down below.
Yep. But that's going to be it for us. Thanks for watching again. God damn it.
And again.
And again.
And join me on Rattlegore as a horde tune, and I will heal you.
God damn it. Oh, yeah,
Like,
5.
I'll really heal you. I'll heal you real good.
And that'll be the
This is
outro.
where it's blacked out.
Real good.
All right. That was good. I got to work on my outro a little bit.
A lot of it. Didn't this happen last time?
2 times ago, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's fucking Twitter phone.
He said, and again, thank you again.
I'm trying to think of what else to say.
Thanks again.
I'm just so thankful.